Many view the fool as nothing but a fool. Many view those that don't feel embarrassed as people that are not as serious about life, or not as wise, not as knowledgeable, not as reliable. But I feel that those that discount the fool, those that discount those that don't worry about other people's opinions, don't worry about being embarrassed, don't worry about looking stupid or seeming stupid, those are the ones that truly understand themselves and understand life. We get caught up in perception. We get caught up in how we look and what people may think of us, or making first impressions, or just leaving an impression, or leaving a if you've already met a person, you don't want to make them believe that you're a different type of person. If you in this day and age, you see a lot of you're seeing a growing amount. I think they're doing it more for like satirical sake, as opposed to like genuinely doing it. But people talking about being mysterious, or like having aura, or like being more low key and stuff. And it's like, it's good to be mysterious, it's good to be secretive to an extent, but at the same time, when I say these things, also, this is a lesson for me. This is a lesson for me. I'm still when I say I'm a fool, this is the fool I'm talking about. I try to be this level of confidence, this level of grounded. If I had to relate to anything, it's like, if you look at the chakras are real. Now, whether or not you want to believe energy is as not manageable, but malleable as some others may believe. It's up to your own discretion. But when it comes to chakras, in this related sense, it's very much rooted, it's very much grounded in the root chakra. And the root chakra is mainly just that confidence, that self-assured state of, even if you're in a position, let's say you're in class, this is the most obvious state. If you're in class and the teacher asks a question, you may have that answer in your mind, but as many youngins happen to be, there's some that will answer the question without fear or worry of being wrong, because they just want to answer the question, because they want to challenge themselves, or they don't mind, they don't worry about the perception, they don't worry about being perceived, or worry about thinking people are gonna look at them as being stupid or less than. They're just answering the question because in their head it's like, I'm gonna take this opportunity. And especially when you find yourself in the state of worry or state of fear, or any of those states where you're hesitating to take action, that in itself is a lesson for you to observe and for you to analyze. It's one of those ones that when you're at that breaking point, you have a choice of reverting back or taking that step back to be like, I'm not ready for this leap. I'm not ready to go through this door. I'm not ready to jump past whatever it is that I feel that there's a wall, or that I'm feeling there's a push for me to not do. When you're faced against that, obviously you have the choice of, once again, not doing it, but you also have the choice of pursuing or pushing past, pushing through, accepting whatever losses that may be in the short term. But in the long term, all those instances that you've pushed past, once again, those states of worry or fear or anxiety, when you push past those and you continually do that, and you'll find yourself over time not being affected by such states, or not being affected by such pressures, because you already built the small steps, the small victories. And it is small victories. You might see it, people might perceive you, people might say whatever, but when people talk, and they especially talk derogatory and negatively, it says more about them than it says about you. You should always remember that. When people talk negatively about you, it says more about them. Now, context matters. Now, if you're doing bad things, constructive criticism is one thing. Just negatively speaking for the sake of negatively speaking, just to either gossip or just to be a piece of shit, that's a different story. That says more about them. But they're criticizing, that's a different story. We can all learn from criticism and both negative talk. But regardless, the role of being the fool, the role of being somebody that doesn't worry, doesn't stress about making themselves seem like something that they're truly not. We also have to come to realize or an acceptance as people that I think for the most part every human, or let's say just say majority of humans, are not one-dimensional. Now, so there's probably some people that are more rigid or more basic, but nevertheless, humans are multifaceted people. We're multi-layered people that even in one instance, you may think a person might be that type of stereotype or that type of trope or whatever, that type of characteristic, I should say. In another situation that isn't like this, they can be different. They can have obviously similarities because who we are innately is still gonna shine. But regardless, if a person is shy in the situation, they can be extroverted in the situation. In this, you might think they're one character type, but in this, they show you, oh, it's not exactly the case. And with ourselves, some people tend to give ourselves grace, some people tend to give other people more grace. But we also just need to give everybody grace. Give other people grace and give yourself grace. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Don't judge others too harshly. When people are making mistakes, embrace it. When you're making mistakes, embrace it. If you made a fool of yourself, if you embarrassed yourself, the worst thing you can do is continually perpetuate the embarrassment. Continually embarrass yourself either through denial of the embarrassment, denial of the situation, or having those overly insecure feelings of trying to now overcompensate for what, like, let's say you slipped on ice, slipped on water, or whatever it is. So you drop something and maybe you embarrass yourself in front of a crush or something that you like. The worst thing you could do is to lower your energy, lower your like stature to continue to sit in that embarrassment. The best thing you can do is laugh it off, make it a joke, say something or whatever, just like brush it off. Now, those people that are gonna see a situation and continually circulate maybe something that's not as progressive or not as positive, you can only control narrative so much. You can only control what somebody's gonna think so much. And once again, you shouldn't worry about that. The role of a fool isn't a lifelong journey. Now, if you're a class, it's once again, context matters. But the role of a fool is momentary. I would say you're gonna have moments, situations that you might be worried of. Once again, being perceived of in different ways, but it says more about you if you're willing to be viewed as the fool. Because just because you're viewed as the fool in a situation doesn't mean you actually are a fool. True wisdom in knowing oneself comes with the acceptance that you're not perfect. You're gonna have moments of success, moments of high achievement, but you're also gonna have moments of mess ups, mistakes, stumbles, and things of that nature. Especially as you continue to live. Especially if you're a young person, even old people are gonna still go through these things as we continue to learn more about ourselves and unlearn toxic tendencies or improper tendencies that we learn in society and stuff like that. I'm not gonna talk too long. Sometimes a lot of my videos I talk for too long, but just know that if you're worried about being perceived, if you're worried about seemingly being perceived as the fool. I keep saying the fool. I mean, I'm trying to think of a synonym for the fool, but the synonyms for fool are harsher, like idiot and stuff like that. It's like that's not the right ones. But I say this because, like I said earlier, I haven't always allowed myself to shine. I haven't always allowed myself to be myself. I'm almost 26, and like I can strongly say that from everybody that's met me, if you're not still in my life, you don't have a full image of me. I barely had a proper image of myself, and I definitely did not have a proper expression of self. I try to find myself and do certain things, and I find things that I liked and find things that I didn't like, but how I acted was very like reserved and shy, and I am a reserved person, but at the same time I'm not as extreme in that as I may have presented myself to be in the amount of situations that I've been, especially with things I've said. Like, obviously if you're growing up, you're going to say things that are cringy or trendy, or you're saying things to kind of like fit in, because people naturally, we want to be included, we want to be in groups, you don't want to be excluded. Naturally we have that tribe mentality, so we're always gonna kind of gravitate towards that, but that can get in the way of somebody still being their authentic self. They'll worry about a certain person liking them or a certain person accepting them. It's like, you really shouldn't worry about things of that, because it only continues to hold you back. It only continues to hold you back in knowing yourself and expressing yourself and truly loving yourself. If you're able to love yourself, you're able to express yourself in all situations. And now, once again, when I mentioned the one dimension, like, we are multifaceted people, so even if you're not expressing yourself in, let's say, like a extroverted or happy-go-lucky, high energetic way, like as you tried to be, even if you're more mellow, even lower, even if you're still authentically yourself, you still present yourself and communicate yourself in ways that you can still be proud in. That's what matters. The fool isn't somebody that just constantly like lets themselves be the butt of the joke. The fool is somebody that, and no matter the situation, no matter the intensity, they are themselves through pride and through and through embarrassment, through joy and through sorrow. It's not that you have to overcompensate or undercompensate for anything. It's just, you're allowed to be yourself, whether that's at the highs or at the lows. People are gonna judge, people are gonna assume, people are gonna speculate, people are gonna gossip. It's a natural thing for the populace. It's a natural thing, and accepting what I just said isn't. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time to learn things, to unlearn things, to get to the point of actually being whole, actually being one. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes losses, and it takes success. And don't let the losses deter you from continuing on with the journey. Don't let other people's opinions and other people's thoughts deter you from being who you are or allowing yourself to truly flourish. A bird doesn't realize how high it can fly until it truly flies as high as it can fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might feel that you have a limit, but until you actually face that limit, you're not gonna know if that's really your limit. Once again, the brain is a powerful tool. If you tell yourself certain things, it's gonna believe it. If you believe in certain things, the world will manifest it. It's just a cause of life. It's alchemy. That's it. I hope that this can resonate with somebody. Now, if I'm watching this later on, I hope it resonates with you again. Lessons sometimes need to be repeated, need to be continually listened to and dissected and analyzed for the lessons to really seep in. Some lessons you can learn quickly, some lessons take time, some lessons are multi-parted. Sometimes there's multiple lessons in a statement, in a whatever. Be kind to yourself, love thy neighbor, love those in your thoughts and your hearts, and be more disciplined, be more patient, but also have high ambitions. Even if you may never achieve them, having a high goal, especially working towards it, can be night and day to just having a mediocre goal and working towards it. Because even if you don't believe you'll get to the high goal, even if you still work to it and you still in some sense believe in it, your progression will be better than if you never believed in it in the first place. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. I'm just a guy trying to learn as he goes through life. Who knows how old I get? I'm just trying to learn as much as I can and accept as much as I can. You know, it's one of those things that when you realize certain things as you get older, as you just experience more, it's like it's good to experience things, and that's why I say it's good to experience the moments that you're confident in, and it's good to experience the things that you're unconfident in. You know, you have to go through the good to get to the bad. You have to go through the bad to get to the good. Namaste.